YouTube, chicks. Get ready. You know what to do, chicks.
Look at Chick Smooth.
Hey, Chick Smooth, appreciate all the coverage that you've been doing. I've been watching your shit for a while. I just subscribed to your shit too, bro.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy BREAD Fox Report from the Chicks Universe, and today we are talking about this new blockbuster Shannon Sharpe lawsuit that just broke the news and is pretty much breaking the internet. Shannon Sharpe is actually being hit with a 8-figure lawsuit. Yes, 8 figures. He's being sued for $50 million. He's being sued by an alleged former lover who says she dealt with him for about a year from 2024 to early 2025. She says in that year, it was pretty much hell, and that she went through a bunch of emotional abuse by the hands of Shannon Sharpe. And then the salacious nature of the lawsuit, of course, is that she's alleging that she was R-word multiple times throughout the relationship up until early 2025. She also says she was also the victim of battery as well. I'm going to go into the article so that you can see exactly what the article says, as well as the comments from her lawyer. Yep. You won't even guess who it is. Well, you could probably guess, because only one person would be behind something like this. None other than the infamous Tony Buzbee. In the article, it states, Hall of Fame tight end Shannon Sharpe made headlines last week in connection with his pursuit of a 9-figure podcast deal. This week, he's facing an 8-figure lawsuit. Sharpe was sued on Sunday by a woman proceeding under the Jane Doe pseudonym. The 13-page civil complaint filed in Nevada State Court alleges that Sharpe committed assault, sexual assault, battery, and sexual battery, and that he engaged in the intentional infliction of emotional distress. The plaintiff claims that they embarked on a rocky, consensual relationship that lasted nearly 2 years. The complaint alleges that Sharpe recorded their sexual activities, something without her knowledge, and that he was sharing the videos with others without her permission or knowledge. The complaint contends that it was another woman, not the plaintiff, with whom Shannon Sharpe was having intercourse with when he accidentally live streamed the encounter on Instagram. That was, per the complaint, the moment at which the plaintiff began to pull away from Sharpe. The complaint claims that he relentlessly pursued her after she stopped answering her phone or sharing her whereabouts. The complaint contends that Sharpe confronted the plaintiff in October of 2024 after she had commenced efforts to separate from him. The complaint details the ensuing encounter, which culminated in an allegedly forcible sex against her consent. Another alleged incident happened in January of 2025. The complaint alleges that Sharpe engaged in unprotected sex with the plaintiff despite her efforts to get him either to stop or to wear a condom. From the first page of the complaint, a woman can say yes to consensual sexual relations with the man 99 times. But when she says no, even once, that no means no. Defendant Shannon Sharpe, a man who is accustomed to getting what he wants, completely fails to understand the basic concept. After many months of manipulating and controlling plaintiff, a woman more than 30 years younger than he, and repeatedly threatening to brutally choke and violently slap her, Sharpe refused to accept the answer no and raped plaintiff, despite her sobbing and repeated screams of no. That last quote actually came from Tony Buzbee himself. The complaint seeks a minimum of $50 million from Sharpe. If/when there's a trial, the recovery, if any, will be determined by a jury based on the evidence and the law. The number can, in theory, be anything. The plaintiff is represented by Micah Nash and Tony Buzbee. For those of you who already know, Tony Buzbee is probably regarded as probably one of the sleaziest lawyers right now in the entire entertainment industry. Whenever he's behind something, you know it's going to be extremely salacious, but at the same time, he's built up this reputation for himself. The mere fact that he's on the case makes everybody kind of side-eye and question everything that's being said, because we have seen on record that Tony Buzbee has been accused by his own defendants that he has coerced them into saying things that were not true or expounding on things that really are not as serious as they seem. In nature, it seems as though anything that he says is just extremely inflammatory and just a shock jock to get people's attention and to make the verdict or the potential payout of a verdict even more exponential than it actually should be. That said, a lot of people take anything that he says or anything connected to him with a grain of salt. For those of you who are not familiar, Tony Buzbee was actually just recently spanked, by Jay-Z and the entire Roc Nation team when he brought about a false lawsuit against Jay-Z, trying to connect him with Diddy.
Now,
What
Jay-Z's
agreement?
lawyer,
What agreement?
I will explain. Jay-Z's lawyer describes this very differently. He says, look, I got a call from Tony Buzbee's lawyer who said he wanted to negotiate a dismissal. And I told him in no uncertain terms that Jay-Z would not negotiate any sort of settlement about this. However, that lawyer said, okay, we'll voluntarily dismiss the suit. And, you know, then your sanctions motion against us for all this bad behavior should kind of go away as well. He thinks that's what the agreement was, that you would walk away from trying to get sanctions against us, whereas Jay-Z's lawyer says, look, our sanctions motion...
Hey, Derek, is that in his head? Is that in his head? Or, you know, my understanding is usually when if you really had an agreement, you put it in writing and you sign it.
And right, when they filed the dismissal,
Here's the paperwork. Your Honor, here's the paperwork.
It is certainly not a negotiated settlement like that. There is no contractual deal that we can look at this paperwork. There's a series of phone calls and maybe emails, it sounds like.
What fakakta situation is it where a lawyer says, you're not going to sue me, but we're not going to really put it in writing? Huh?
With that said, that does not automatically mean that Shannon Sharpe is safe here. If I'm being honest, after reading over the article and the facts in the case, it seems as though technically this lady may have a case if these things are true. Now, it is important to see context. From one side, the way that it's explained, it seems extremely egregious. But if you are looking at it from the terms of these people were in a consensual relationship, a lot of these things could be miscommunications, whether intentional miscommunications or not. The reason why these things can stick is because a lot of people do have a misconception of what the law actually is. And I say that by saying a lot of people think like, hey, if I pick up a girl and we're dating, we've been dating for a year, 2 years, and then I make a move on her before we go out, like, oh, babe, you know, let me get some before we go out, whatever the case may be. Or like, you know, you try to do your little move, whatever, like, damn, you look good as hell. And she curve you. And she like, nah, wait till after dinner. Or she just curve you like, nah, not right now. If later on that night, you technically, by the law, you're not allowed to have sexual intercourse with that girl. If you have sexual intercourse with that girl, even though she said no early in the morning, it don't matter if it's still at night. It don't even matter if it's the next day, to be real with you. It don't even matter if it's a month from now. If you have sex with that girl, she can turn around and say that it was not consensual. Why? Because she can say that you coerced her into having sex. Because she clearly stated no previously, and then you continue to ask, and then she felt pressured into saying yes. Now, that is the law. If that is something that took place, whether Shannon Sharpe likes it or not, he's cooked. If that never took place, then of course my boy is good to go. But if that did take place, my boy is cooked. Same thing goes with the unprotected sex. If the girl told you a month ago, hey, yeah, I don't ever want to have unprotected sex, just so you know, whatever the case may be, and then a couple of weeks later, things get hot and steamy and you like, damn, yeah, I don't have no condom, and then you just kiss her, and then you start, you know, before you know it, y'all doing what y'all do. Just because she didn't tell you no in that moment, that, hey, no, not right now. Just because she didn't say it in that moment, it doesn't matter. Because she told you a month before how she clearly feels about unprotected sex. So, in the eyes of the law, of course, you're cooked. So, if Shannon Sharpe did that, I'm sorry, but my boy is cooked. Now, there are some things that you have to mention as well, to add to the context as well. For one, it is Tony Buzbee. Two, Shannon Sharpe is literally in the middle of a 9-figure deal negotiation for his podcast. You can tell that lawyers thought, hey, this is the time to strike. This is when he's most pressured. Maybe he'll be really, really pressured to just throwing this thing away. Or even better, we're going to attach this into his name that's already trending right now and blow this thing out of water, because what better time to announce this but now? It seems like no matter what, Shannon Sharpe is in a tough pickle. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Of course, As always, I just hope any of this is not true, because we don't ever want to see somebody getting hurt. And I hope this is just one of those things that's actually false and it's just Tony Buzbee trying to stir up some more noise. That's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm thinking. I would love to know what you guys think, right? Yeah, I think Shannon Sharpe is really cooked. Or you think like this is just another one of Tony Buzbee's scams, ambulance chains and scams? Drop some knowledge in the comments. Also, make sure you like and subscribe. It's your boy, BREAD Fox, report from the Chicks Universe. And as always, till next time.